So I guess the main purpose of today and this video is talking about um, looking at the very uncomfortable ideas of life and not shying away from them. Just something I've definitely done throughout my life is kind of avoid those uncomfortable truths and like issues that you really don't like to think about, but you're kind of just making yourself more depressed and you're making yourself more downtrodden because these things are still in your mind, but you're not really taking them in and you're not processing them. So, for my example, which this could be many things, but for my example, it is thinking about your mortality and thinking about the fact that you will die and you could die anytime. And that's something that, since a very young age, I worried about a lot, just thinking about the really scary truth of it could be over at any time, or it could be over for the people you love at any time. And that's a really scary thing. And I think for most people, if you're not scared by that, if you're not like, if you don't sit down and think about it and you're not like put down by that, you're not actually thinking about it. You're not processing what it truly means for this to all be over at any time. It's a really scary thing. That thought and that uncomfortable truth could be multiple things depending on the person. That's just what the biggest thing that affected me, and it's kind of put me down, and I've let it control me for a majority of my life. It's a big opportunity for you to um, have a take hold of that and use it to your advantage in your life. I don't I hear a lot of people talking about like um, I don't know, it's all over YouTube of like the epidemic of boredom and how people are just avoiding boredom and they're just scrolling mindlessly and they're avoiding uncomfortable truths. And I think that is kind of the big thing. And I have an analogy I'll give them a little bit. I think a lot of people are just drowning out those uncomfortable truths and putting them aside and trying to ignore them and not fully think about them and work through those feelings that they're just part of life. A lot of people are just drowning those out with other noise that they're injecting into their system, so they can't fully pick up on the fact that you will die someday or some other thing. Um, Maybe for other people, it's that um, you're afraid you'll be alone forever, or you're afraid that you'll never achieve your goals, you don't have a purpose in life, or you're afraid of just many other things, and you're just letting them anything that pretty much um, you find the need to drown out and not fully listen to those thoughts. There's a lot of things like that, I think, in daily life. Life is really sad. There's a lot of really sad things, and it's easy to let that control you, but you can also use it and you can um, let it drive you to live your life to the fullest and maximize your life, find balance. Like, you could let it drive you to work and achieve all you can, but then you miss out on other things like enjoying your life. But if you fully go through those thoughts and think about those things, you can come to a balance in your life where you're balancing your work and everything you want to achieve with your enjoyment of life. Sometimes those intermingle a little bit. It, Humans are really complex. Life is really complex. So that analogy of balance is sometimes there's more nuance there. But um, everything in life, everything, the key to a truly happy life is balance. Like, it seems self-evident through my own life, is finding a balance. You can't swing too far either way, but you can find that balance in the middle and live really happily. But the fact that I was injecting all this noise into my system and just avoiding my problems just made me that much more depressed and that much more anxious and sad. And it's only when you truly face your fears in life that you can take advantage of that and live a happy life and not feel like you're always avoiding something or you're always running from something. I just urge you to make a concerted effort to face those, because truly it's really uncomfortable at first and maybe in the first couple days, but it does make your life so much better. Just cutting out that noise and truly facing your fears and facing those uncomfortable feelings and thoughts. And for me, like thinking about death and facing the fact that I will die and the people I love will die, and thinking about that fully and just keeping that in the back of my head, it makes my relationships better. It makes me value my life more and not waste it doing things that, because I mean it's all over really quickly, and it just makes me strive to make the most of what I have here. And it's really cliche to hear. You hear people say it all the time, but it's better to learn before you have to learn through experience. And that's what I'm trying to urge you to do. Because, like, I don't know, as you go through life, you'll learn through experience these things, but it's really just get ahead of it. So, like you have your signal here over time. That's like time t. So you have whatever it may be, like it encodes some sort of information. And in this analogy, it's like these uncomfortable thoughts about life. They're just part of life. The you that come into your head. They're natural, like, and they're things you need to listen to. Like, you have some receiver, like some big receiver on this end that's taking in those signals. It's just something in your brain. It's the part of your brain where you reflect on life and you think about all the uncomfortable things, and um, you work through that, and through that work you make your life better and you make yourself more wise and able to handle stresses of life and the uncomfortable things. But something we like to do is introduce noise into the system. So this receiver on this end has a harder time of picking up the actual issue. And we just, I don't know, like some like weird signal we introduce. And this makes this turn into some other like really weird signal that sort of resembles like this signal, but it has a bunch of noise added to it. And it's harder for us to actually pick it up on the receiving end and think about it. And it makes it easier for us to ignore. It also makes it harder for us to actually look within ourselves and take lessons from those like really annoying thoughts and uncomfortable truths about life. But this is something we need to do. We need to receive that signal, and through thought and sitting down and in solitude, thinking about it and processing it, it will make our lives better. But we need to reduce the noise we introduce into the signal system. And that could be different from everyone. When I was young, I used to just sit and I constantly had like TV shows running throughout everything I did. Like I'd have a TV show running for like just in my headphones for like 12 hours of the day, and even into when I slept, because it gets quiet when you sleep, like when you're about to go to sleep, and it's easier for you to think about things. So I'd just always be watching something and adding noise into the system. And I've done many other ways of adding noise, but that's just something I did when I was younger. And I still do it to an extent, but I cut down on it quite a bit. It could be just mindlessly scrolling, which people talk about that too much, but it could be any other vice that you have. It could be pretty harmless, just looking from the outside, but it is something that's preventing you from, on the receiving end, taking in that signal and actually being able to decode what it's saying and think about it and really truly maximize your life and consider just all parts of life, and you're not truly living life, and you feel happy and down, or you feel unhappy and really anxious because like your receiver's still getting part of that signal, and like you're still sort of recognizing that those thoughts are there, like whatever that may be. For me it's just mortality, but for you it could be other things, but you're still sort of receiving it and sort of decoding it, but you're not truly like taking it in and thinking about it and uh, processing it. So it just adds to your feeling of like something else is running your life. You're not truly running your life. You feel anxious all the time, you feel sad, and you don't really know why. I mean, I still have a ton of like issues dealing with that, but it's made so much worse by just ignoring it and letting your receiver run autonomously and pick up on those things. And just, you need to bring it in, think about it, and then kind of institute changes in your life. And when you do that, you will feel so much more free. So you can either cut down on the noise, which I think that's the best first step. And yeah, that's definitely the best first step. And then after you do that, you can start working on like listening to those thoughts more, and increasing like how you decode that signal, or how you take those thoughts in and process them, and how you listen to your inner thoughts. Like that comes with practice, but it's only once you start decreasing the noise you introduce into the system that you can um, start working on yourself and working on that receiver strength. That's my analogy I had. It just makes sense to me with kind of my background and what I've been working on lately in school and work with signals and receiving and transmitting. Transmitting, I don't know. I don't know what's really transmitting those thoughts. It's like what's what makes it so that there's always a part of my brain that's just sending these uncomfortable thoughts. And it might be less for other people. Like everyone's mind works differently. Sometimes their transmitter, the thing transmitting these thoughts, just is so low that you don't have to like you don't have to do this whole pursuit, and you can just go on living life normally and uh, not have to worry about processing these thoughts on the receiving end. But for other people like me, you really have to not let that run your life. Okay, so that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. I've been watching videos recently, and it's just been something that was on my mind, and I've been seeing videos pop up on my feed about boredom, and like I've gone on a couple like dopamine fasts where I just spend like a week detoxing from all that, and I'll just cut out all the noise I can. So I'll take like a week and I won't listen to like any sort of music with that like gets me hyped up or something that I'm addicted to, because like I'm kind of addicted to that feeling of like going for a run and listening to violent music where it just gets me really pumped up and I run so much harder. That's one kind of an example, but just anything that I think introduces noise into my system or distracts me. Like I'll take the week off from watching any sort of videos, or besides maybe some educational stuff, but anything entertaining. And I guess I'll read. I know I've been rambling a bit, but I kind of just really want to impress upon people and myself in the future to just cut back on the noise and process those uncomfortable truths and not run away from them. There were some cool videos I was watching this morning. It was on the first one I saw was on the Harvard Business Review. They had some professor talking about kind of boredom and embracing boredom and working through it instead of just, I mean, he didn't say noise, but he was talking about the same idea of us introducing noise, but just working through the boredom and pushing on until you reach that point where you feel a lot more free, and that will make you a lot happier. I'll link those below. Yeah, this guy, Dr. Arthur Brooks. I haven't looked into him that much, but I got down a kind of good string of videos that I really encouraged me a little bit. It kind of inspired me to actually make this video today because I have been thinking about making this video for a little bit, just about my experiences with it. But yeah, it just inspired me to get started with that, and I'll link that below, a couple of the starting videos, and there's definitely some more in-depth videos that he's put out. Just watch those and start thinking about it and take that first step. Like, I really encourage you to take that leap of faith and just try it. And it's really uncomfortable at first, and usually like these kinds of things for the first week it's pretty uncomfortable, but if you make it past a week, you're set. If you make it past a month, it's even better. You'll have habits forming, like neurologically. So just really push hard and jump in and live your life, and don't let your life be run by this noise you're injecting into the system. Don't ruin your life like that. Just face the facts of life. And I really hope it can encourage you, and you can take back your life, because I've definitely felt so downtrodden and at times. It's only once I make that jump and commit to it for more than a week, at least a week. Month is butter, that's where you're at. But just get there. And it's not easy at first, but you can do it. I know you can. I've done it, and I'm not like, I let my life be run for years and years. I'm not the best, but just take that jump. And I did it, and you can do it. And don't discouraged if you have to remediate and go back and do it again, do another week. Like, just keep going at it. It's when you give up and you stop working at it that, I mean, you're kind of basically dead. Like, you can be afraid of mortality, or you can be dead and just live your life as a dead man. It's kind of over dramatic, but you really are just, what is life if you're not living it and taking advantage of it every moment and struggling through life? Like, life is a big struggle, and when you stop struggling, you're pretty much dead in the view of just like what life actually is. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll try to put out I have some ideas for other videos I want to make. I'll put those out soon, and maybe if it helps one person, that'd be great. But really, that's not exactly why I'm doing it. And I'll encourage you to, if you want to comment, you definitely can, but I encourage you to talk to people in your real life about this. I think that's undervalued. Just one friend or a couple friends with different perspectives, or anyone in your life, just bring it up to them instead of putting it out on the internet. Just talk to people in your real life and have a conversation with people you feel comfortable with. and just ask them, hey, what do you think about this? And you can go back and forth. And that helps a lot. So comment, but also do that. Err on the side of that. Yeah. Thank you.